And welcome everyone to a brand new Monday live stream. This is episode 45. I'm Andy, November 0 Alpha Papa X-Ray, your host for today. Got great friends on the show, great friends in the chat, and a great show planned for you. Now, to start us off, I'm hoping my audio sounds good. If not, please let me know. I'm already getting comments that my audio sounds echoey, so we're gonna deal with that right now. Overmodulated. Okay. Maybe that's because, well, anyway. Yes, I can see it being overmodulated. Let me dial it back here. How about that? Does that sound a little better? We're gonna keep tweaking it as we go here, and hopefully it will get better throughout the show. Thank you for the comments so much, and yeah, let's keep rolling with the show here. We have tons of stuff to cover, new features. Okay, it's echoing now. All right, we'll deal with it. Give me just a couple minutes. We're gonna bring in James and Catalina, our good friends from Georgia and Argentina. Welcome, welcome, y'all. How you doing on this beautiful Monday afternoon?
Well, we can't hear you, James.
We can't hear James, so Catalina, how are you doing?
This is my show.
Catalina,
Okay,
how's things going in Argentina for you?
Oh, here it's a very gray day here. We are on autumn right now, so it's a little bit freezing too. But we are doing great because we have shows. So it's show day.
Absolutely. I am tweaking the audio. I probably sound really loud now, right?
Yes, very loud. James, we can't hear you. Nope. We can't hear you, Andy. Can you hear me?
How's that? Can you hear me now?
Yes, James. Thank
I'm
you.
here. With audio issues today, off the charts. That's crazy. But Catalina, looks like you're just going to run the show by yourself today.
What is happening with your audio? Okay, so this show is gonna be about Messi, Argentina, asado.
We're talking about football today.
Football. So Argentinians know a lot about football, so that's what
Yeah, apparently so. How's my audio sound now? Am I loud, quiet, in between, up, down, back, forth?
It's kind of like, I would say overmodulated.
Okay, so I adjusted something as it sound a little better now.
It sounds about the same.
About the same. Okay. Zach says he's got an A/B switch, so he's controlling us from behind the scenes. Well, only Andy or James can speak at any given time. So, okay. All right. We'll keep working on the audio as we go here. I'm going to back that off a little bit. Maybe that'll help a little. How's it sounded now? Maybe that's a little better. Anyway, we'll keep rolling. And James, if you could just kind of keep providing me live feedback on Slack over here, that would help me out. Guys, we have tons of stuff to cover today. So, okay, Zach, sounds like it's a lot better. So awesome. Thank you, Zach. Really appreciate that. Okay, we'll hold it there for now and keep moving.
Hey, Andy, I didn't tell you that you can speak. I'm running the show today.
Yeah, absolutely, Catalina. Well, I have this switch, Catalina. I could just do this, and no, I'm
So how are you, Andy? How are you?
It's absolutely fantastic. It's you couldn't hardly ask for a better spring day here in the Ozarks, and just got back from the More Expo over the weekend here in Springfield, Missouri. It was a ton of fun, great show, and yeah, I'll be talking about that quite a bit later in the show. It was really fun and some great takeaways from that. So we'll be talking about that here in just a little bit. James, now that your audio is good, how's life in Georgia?
It's beautiful. It couldn't complain. I got my new filter working that I was talking about.
Nice.
The AM broadcast band filter, which is really, it's like, it filters out, it lets everything from 1.8 megahertz to 50 megahertz pass. So it cleaned up everything, it cleaned up my signal so much, got rid of that pesky AM broadcast. So I've been using that and just enjoying this beautiful Georgia weather.
That's incredible. That's fantastic. Yeah, It has been, it's been quite a week overall, but all things considered, we're doing very well. And I was really excited to get to the show today because it's just, it's a great day, and this show gives me all kinds of energy. So I'm really excited because we have some really cool new features coming up here on the Catalina show today. Just kidding.
Hey, shout out to we got international representation today. We got Daniel back from Argentina. We got it looks like we've got somebody from Moscow. We had some from Italy. Lots of international representation. So thank you guys for joining from various different countries of the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you, Zach, for helping me dial in my audio. I was trying a new audio configuration over here, and it obviously didn't work. So thank you. We'll keep working on that. But anyway, to the updates at hand, we have some incredible World Radio League stuff to talk about today in Ham Radio Prep. I am going to get us kicked off. I'm gonna give some of these to James to walk us through, but I'm gonna get us kicked off with what is probably one of my favorite things. It's one of those it feels like a small enhancement, but it has such huge quality of life impacts. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen here and talk about this one because it is just so absolutely cool. So let me go ahead and share the screen here. And there we go. So we have just added Logbook search, sort, and filter. So we haven't got the sort option added to the web yet. We've got it on the mobile app, but we haven't added it to the web yet. But we still have search and filter and favorites on the web. So you can favorite a logbook. Search by logbook name, so I can find all my 2024 logbook by just searching 2024. I've got some favorited here. I can click favorites. All my favorites float to the top instantly, and you can filter by date created, number of QSOs, and even activity references. This is actually, I haven't even seen this one yet. This is a really cool filter. Activity references. I can see all the times I've activated 1747, I believe, which is US 1747 Bennett Springs State Park. Apply that filter. Looky there. There's my US 1747 log books. I've got 4 of those. And or I can look by activity type. So I can sort or filter by POTA, SOTA, and I'm assuming that you can even combine some of these. Can you combine these filters, James?
Oh yeah, you can combine filters as well.
So if I apply, so if I apply a POTA filter and I do it within the last 30 days, have I done a POTA in the last 30? I don't think I've done one.
I don't think so.
Yeah, Catalina knows. Catalina knows exactly every time I do a POTA. She watches social media and just promotes every map I share.
If you did
crazy.
A POTA and you didn't share your map,
so there we go. Yeah, there's all my February POTA activations right there. It's so cool. This is just so absolutely cool. I love this. I love this feature. And like I said, on the mobile app, I'll go ahead. James, I'm going to let you talk about this for a minute while I pull up the mobile app so I can kind of show what it looks like over there. What's kind of your
cool? No, I love that. I love we're going to get some mobile app here too. Yeah. I would just want to say really quick, one of the reasons why we built this feature and we had a lot of requests for it was because when you first get the app, you only have a couple logbooks, but as time goes on, you have 10 logbooks, 20 logbooks. Now, people use logbooks differently. Most people kind of separate each activation into its own logbook. Yeah. So it becomes really hard to keep track of your logbooks and to remember your favorites and things like that. So this just makes it really easy to find your logbooks, to get to the ones you're looking for. And on mobile, so I'll let you jump into this mobile demo, but on mobile, it was so hard. If you had 100 logbooks or something, it would be so hard to find that one logbook you were looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. They're telling me in the chat that I'm 5'9 plus, and that you're 5'9. So maybe our audio is still a little bit out of kilter, but deal with it. No, I'm kidding. So here is the mobile app. And I absolutely love that this. This is, by the way, this is just running natively on my Mac. So you can run, if you have an M series Mac, you can run the mobile app on your Mac. It's really, really cool. So this search box and icon, this was just the attention to detail by the devs here was just so amazing, because the search box, it's not too big, it's not too small, the icon's really cool, it's just, the UI is just perfect, and I love this. So if I don't know if I've got any 2023 logbooks or not. I don't think I do. So let's search by back when there was, see if I've got any still labeled with the K dash. Yeah, I've still got some old K dash POTA references in here. That's back in the old days of POTA. For those of you who don't know, the US parks the prefix used to be K instead of US. That was before they went through the whole renaming change and everything. So once again, search and filter, just like on very similar to on web. You can also sort. So you can sort by most recent activity, by last contact, date created, and number of QSOs. I think this is really, really cool because you can always have like your most active logbooks at the top. So if you have a VHF UHF logbook and a general HF logbook that you use all the time, and then that's separate from all your POTA logbooks. Well, as you keep using those VHF UHF and general HF logbooks, they're going to float to the top, and all your others are going to kind of sink down below those, but you can keep those regularly used ones at the top just by sorting like this. And I think that's really awesome.
That is super nice.
Yeah. And of course, we also have the starring here. You can star your logbooks. And as you go here into filters, you can just hit show favorites only. And I think you have to, yeah, there you go. And it looks like the stars sync between web and mobile. So if you star a logbook on your mobile app, it stars on the web and vice versa. So that's really, really cool. I love that, man.
Absolutely.
It's so awesome.
And those and again, you can favorite those. I'll also, there's kind of a little hidden feature in this, is that we've actually updated the default sort too. So instead of just defaulting to the most recent created date, it will actually look at the most recent of your created date or your last contact. So
I noticed that.
For instance, I have a logbook I call it 2026 random fun, which is just like random contacts that I make. And it's at the top because even though I created it several months ago, I use it. So it kind of just bubbles to the top. Which
that is really awesome. I love that. And I'm assuming, I was looking at this here and I wasn't in the middle of the implementation of this one. So I'm assuming the difference between the default most recent activity and the last contact is that most recent activity covers anything account or logbook creation, delete, contact deletion, contact creation, contact editing, and last contact is just literally just the last contact you logged. Is that right?
Yep. Exactly.
Okay. Awesome.
Now we got a couple questions on this. And a couple comments. I'll pull up really quickly.
Yeah.
So first one from our friend Daniel from Argentina. Daniel, thanks for being here. I want to perform actions with my logbook and Opera. The drop-down menu remains hidden. I can show you really quickly on my screen. We know exactly what you're talking about. It's a quick UI issue that we will fix. So what happens is if you use the favorites and then you go to hover over the ellipses over here, the menu gets kind of cut off. And I don't even know if you guys see this. Yeah. That is in process and being fixed. So we will have that very soon.
Interesting.
Next question here is, what would be the best way to organize the logbooks? I think everybody has a little bit of a different opinion about this.
Yeah, I always approach this by saying, do whatever you want to do. I usually split them up by every contest gets its own logbook because that makes contest tracking easier. Every POTA activation gets its own logbook because that makes all those stats easier and exports and tracking and what have you easier. And every general month logging gets its own logbook. That's what I generally do. And that system has worked extremely well for me. But really, our system is built to be very customizable. So you do you. I mean, whatever you want to do is possible. Just do it. You know, it's all your tools are there.
Yeah, I mean, I would recommend breaking them up a little bit. I know some people like to have everything in one log, but I will say the thing that you have QSO Manager for that exact purpose. So if you hop over from logbooks to QSO Manager is all of your contacts in one single place across all logbooks. So if you ever just need, and if you want to map your log, you want to look at maps across different logbooks or different filter conditions. You can just hop over to the QSO map and you can do maps across. Logbooks. So
yeah, absolutely. That's fantastic. And so Bill says, so if I make a contact and use a different logbook for each session or activation, will the app still know if the other operator is already in one of my other logbooks? Yes, absolutely. I mean, yeah. It's that the little pop-up, James, if you can open up a logging window and just any of them and put in my call sign, N0APX, and scroll down. I am not in your random fun logbook, I don't believe, but you can still see that it pulls up both of the former, the previous QSOs with me. So, it doesn't matter what logbook the other operator's in, this little pop-up will pull up those QSOs across all of your logbooks. So great question, Bill, on that one. That's great. Daniel says, these updates look great. That's awesome, Daniel. We love to hear that kind of feedback. Thank you so much for reaching out. Rob asked, how do we get the main logbook always at the top? And James, this is actually kind of a, I totally understand where he's coming from. This is kind of a little bit of a question of, is there a way to pin one at the top? Just permanently pin it to the top. My initial reaction is that if it's your most used one, it's always going to be in like the top 3. And so you're always going to see it up there, right up at the top, but we don't have a way to pin it at this point. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I think, Rob, I think this last update should completely fix this for you, because previously it would sort by date created. So even if you were using the logbook, it wouldn't be at the top. Yeah. But now there's 2 ways they're going to fix this for you. Number one is if you've used that recently, even if it was created a long time ago, it's going to be right at the top. And the second way, it's not a pin necessarily, but it's a star, but it achieves the same thing as you put a star on that, you click the favorites. And then boom,
if you filter by favorites, it's going to pop up to the top instantly. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. So, great question, Rob. Thank you for asking that. Darren asks or says, I wish everyone would hurry and catch on and start using WRL. I enter everything in WRL, which connects to QRZ, is the one I have it loading to. KG5HBX. Thank you, Darren, for the vote of confidence. Really, really appreciate that. And I mean, really start sending out confirmation requests. I got a bunch of new users confirming contacts when I sent out confirmation requests. So, start sending out confirmation requests, start bringing in more people. It's really cool. Zach says he can finally have his hunted POTA logbook at the top of the sea of POTA activation logbooks. Absolutely. Yeah. It'll float right to the top, Zach. And like I said, this is one of those things that feels like a small feature, but it's like a massive quality of life improvement for your logs. And I absolutely love it. So, Catalina, have you started using it yet?
Yes, absolutely. I did 5 POTA activations this weekend. It was so fun. I used the filter to look on my own logbooks that I have.
You probably have a lot of POTA parks near you.
I think we looked it up at one point, and you do have several close to you. So Terry said he was. Sorry, go ahead, Catalina.
No, that I don't have a lot like you. Whenever you shared your map, it was like evergreen, and I had like maybe 5. But
I'll use this as an opportunity to show off, the activities feature. But let's go, if we come down.
Go for it.
Rio de Janeiro, that's not right. Catalina's not in Rio de Janeiro. No.
I'm not from Brazil.
No, not from Brazil. Okay. Where are we? Are we still? Where's Argentina? There's Uruguay.
There.
Okay. Here we got Argentina.
I just saw my.
There's Tandil. Okay, let's see. Yeah. Let's see what are the POTA. Oh, you have a SOTA.
You have SOTA summits. That's cool.
You have a lot of SOTAs. Oh my gosh, you have a. I don't know what that is. but that's cool. You've got, so there must be some pretty good mountains near you. It looks like the main one,
we have
your main
hills
POTA
here.
is Cerro El Triunfo.
El Triunfo. Ah, okay.
Cool. And a bunch of summits. That is a lot of summits. That's so cool. There's people who would love to have that many summits close to them.
Okay, what's the difference between POTA and SOTA?
Oh, you just opened a can of worms. You just opened a can of worms.
Good
We
question.
tell you what, Catalina. People start putting your comments on this question in the chat. We will cover this after the first break, and we will explain to Catalina and everyone who is wondering what the difference is between SOTA and POTA. I was not prepared for this, so we'll talk about it after the break. I did want to shout out, we have a Whitey2VKR in the chat, and then HK4X from Colombia. So great shout out there.
We need to get Colombia in the log. We need to plan this on the live chat. So
I think I have Colombia in the log, actually. But yeah, it's great to see the international audience here. Yeah, I believe I've got Colombia in the log.
But I don't know if I have a confirmed Colombia.
Tim says they've got a couple of hills in Guam. Yeah, it's kind of the way it is around here. We have what's called the Ozark Mountains, but they're really just some kind of tall hills. I've never seen real mountains in real life before. So, but anyway, yeah. I did want to cover a couple more comments here. Zach says it would be nice to have the stars float to the top and then sorted by activity instead of just I'm assuming he said just filtering them out to have them float to the top. I totally get that. And pinning logbook may be something we end up adding down the road, but
we actually did think about this, but here's the problem. Once if you make the stars always go to the top, it kind of the filter then doesn't really do anything, because then the stars are always at the top, so there's no need to filter. So it kind of becomes like one or the other. I know this gets a little bit into the weeds, the little bit of the weeds of it, but I think we decided that it was best to have where you can click the favorites button which brings them to the top and filters everything else out, versus just having them automatically go to the top. Because we actually did have it where it automatically went to the top at first, but what would happen, at least to me, is I'd be going through the logbooks, I'd click the star, it would disappear because it would jump to the top, which was a little bit confusing. So I think what it does today should be able to get everything you want, as long as you just click that favorites button.
Yeah, I mean, Zach even has a suggestion, maybe a setting that says favorites stay at the top. So
as long as you click the favorites button, it won't unclick it. So every time you come back, it'll always be at the top until you unclick it.
Yeah. Okay, that makes perfect sense. So, all right, great question there, Zach. Terry had a comment, and I want to highlight this one. I actually heard the same feedback from Dave, KE6GE Hillbilly Ham, over the weekend at the More Expo. He said he wanted to comment that we need folders for logbooks. That is really an awesome idea, and it's something that I've been pushing for a while. But at the same time, we're going to have an issue where we're going to have to be extraordinarily careful with app sync and folders. It's going to get really complex and complicated. This was a really easy first rollout of this. And folders may be in the future, but it wasn't like an immediate addition. But we're still looking at it. But we had to get this part out first to get this nailed down before we could look at the more complex phase 2 of this. What's kind of your take on that, James?
No, I think you said it perfect. I think that we wanted to do it in 2 phases, like adding the favorites and the sort and things like that. And then the folders is a little bit tricky because of the like you said, the desktop app and the mobile app, because then we have to think about, when you open your mobile app, do you want to see the same folders? You want it to sync across devices. So we just have to be a little careful about that rollout.
Yeah, absolutely. And Eric says, if not folders, how about categories?
Interesting.
Maybe. It depends on how you envision those categories. I would love to hear more on your idea there, but yeah, if you have something there, then throw it out here. HK4X says SOTA is sofas on the air. Yeah, there's
Does that
actually
answer your question, Catalina?
Yeah. There's actually a Sofas on the Air YouTube channel, and those guys are really great. So go check them out if you want to. So Tim says he's going to keep asking for it. For the satellite QSO interface. Okay, I thought you were talking about folders, but yeah, okay, we can talk about that here in just a bit. But anyway, yeah, as far as the folders go, maybe in our future, it's not quite here yet. We covered basically the whole first segment talking about this. So we're going to, James, I'm going to, after we talk about what the difference is between POTA and SOTA after the break, I'm going to let you kind of roll with some of these other features here. We'll kind of walk through them together, and then we'll move on with some other cool stuff later on. I am not going to do a propagation forecast today. My AI minion was giving me foul and erroneous data. So I'm going to give you the current the current band conditions, solar conditions today, and we're going to skip the forecast. We've got a jam-packed show anyway. I don't think we're going to have time. So I'm going to give you conditions after the break, and then we're going to talk POTA and SOTA for a couple minutes before we move on with the rest of the World Radio League updates. So, guys, stick around. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back after this. What just happened? There we go. We will be right back after this break. Don't go anywhere.
HF, or high-frequency communications, are what gives humans the ability to communicate all around the world with their own equipment. No internet, no cell phone required. In my 15 years in the amateur radio, I've talked to people around the world, on every single continent, and in over 120 countries. From Australia to Japan, from Kuwait to Spain to Italy, they are all in the log. There's a worldwide community of passionate individuals keeping HF relevant. A community there for you to tap into. It's there for international fellowship, for learning new skills, and as a last resort for emergency situations. In this course, I'm going to teach you how to become a master of HF communications. You don't need only raw power or just a big antenna. Basic gear will do the job if you know the how and when of operating HF. Join me on a journey for your first contact on HF. Whatever your goal, to be the next big DX operator, to be ready for an emergency, or just to enjoy the hobby. This class will get you talking. The HF Masterclass, now available from Ham Radio Prep.
We are back with episode 45 of the World Radio League show here from the recently dubbed Blue Barn Studios. I'm Andy in Zero APX, having more fun than a human being should be allowed to have. And I've got my great friends James and Catalina in the show with me. Welcome back, guys. Great to have you here. I want to give a huge shout out to Josh WN 2023 for doing his first POTA activation this weekend. That's awesome.
Josh.
That's awesome, Josh. You get the not the thumbs up, but anyway, the fireworks. Here we go. Well, yeah, you do get a thumbs up. You also get the fireworks. There we go. That's what I'm after. Fireworks for you, Josh. That's awesome. Awesome, man. Great
He
work
wrote
there.
that got 6 15 QSOs in 25 minutes.
Nice.
QSOs in 25 minutes. That's a great rate. That's incredible. That's absolutely incredible. Very well done, good sir, and hope you had a ton of fun with that. So, yeah, we have got tons and tons and tons more to cover. Very quickly, band conditions today. Right now the A index is at 23. Very ouch. The K index is up to 4, and the SFI down to 105. Everything on the board is either fair or poor, so it's really, really, really bad. Signal noise is at S3 to S4, and the sunspot number is 46. That is your band conditions for today. And please get out there and break out your CW key so that you can actually make some contacts. I'm going to keep telling people to get their CW key out because it's just such an awesome mode. So, POTA versus SOTA. Let's just define our terms quickly, and then Catalina, if you have any questions, we can cover all that before we roll back in with the World Radio League update. So, POTA is parks on the air. So that means a state or a national park. You go out, you set up your gear, you activate, you get if you get up to 10 QSOs in your log, 10 contacts, that means you've officially activated it for the day. And you can get as many as you want to. 10 counts as an activation. And the more the more contacts you get, the better, but it's activated at the 10 mark. SOTA is I have not done a complete deep dive into SOTA, so I may have to have some help from y'all in the chat on this one. But SOTA is a bit different. Summits on the air, so you go up to mountaintops, mountain peaks, take your gear with you, and activate from. You have to be at or within. I think it's within. Is it like 10 vertical? Maybe it's. I can't remember, 10 vertical meters of the mountain peak, or maybe it's 30 vertical meters of the mountain peak. I can't remember. And you have to be very, very close to the actual summit of the mountain. And and you try to make as many contacts as possible, but 4 counts as activating a peak. And if I understand it right, or activating a summit, and if I understand it right, you can only activate them once per year, if I'm not mistaken. In summits on the air, in parks on the air, you can activate it once per day. So a little bit of a different program. But I think
folks in Florida, that's going to be difficult. Sorry, Josh.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, no, it's a cool program, and I want to understand more about it, but I haven't done the deep dive on Summits on the Air yet. Summits on the Air is also different, whereas at least when it started, and I'm assuming it's still this way, the chasers or hunters were the ones who submitted the log, and the activators didn't. So it's quite a bit different of a system. So Bill says understanding 10 is the minimum to activate POTA and more is better. What does better mean? Are there points or something, or is it just do more because it's fun? Both. You do more because it's fun, and you can. The more contacts you make, the closer you get to awards like the illustrious Kilo Award, which is 1,000 contacts from a single park, not in a single day, but just 1,000 contacts from a single park. And I actually just received my first Kilo a few weeks ago, so that was a lot of fun. But yeah, absolutely. James, what do you have to add to that?
I think you said it well. I mean, I'll give a quick note here is that you can go within WRL, you can see POTA sites, WWF sites, SOTA sites, all those sites all together on a single map. And you can also filter them to see which ones you've activated, not activated as well. So if you're planning a rove and you just want to be able to see what's out there, or you're trying to look and see POTA and SOTA on the same map, you can do that. Like, for instance, I've got Stone Mountain, which is near me. If I switch over to the regular view, you can see Stone Mountain is both a POTA and a SOTA site. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, it just makes it really easy to find those sites here within WRL.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, for sure. I think the some of the recent additions we've made here are just game changing in that regard. So there's a couple comments here. Zach says 1 QSO activates a SOTA summit and 3 gets points for the summit. No activation from vehicles. There you go. Thank you, Zach. And Pepe said you can activate daily and the hunters get the points. Only the activator gets the points once per year. Once he makes that 4 contacts, he gets the points. So you can activate the summit daily, but you can only get the points once per year per summit. So thank you, Pepe, for the clarification there. That makes a lot of sense. Zach asks, thank you, Zach, for the congratulations on the kilo. It was US 10215, Cedar Gap State Conservation Area. Beautiful park, really, really cool site. So I was doing a lot of activations from the parking lot, and I finally did some hiking way back in there and found some really cool spots back in there to activate. So yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, the other thing I wanted to mention was WWFF is Worldwide Flora and Fauna. That's another one of the programs that we kind of incorporate some elements of that inside World Radio League, and that is more similar to POTA. And in fact, some of the parks overlap POTA parks. So check your POTA park, see if it also qualifies as a WWFF park, and if it does, you can find your local WWFF rep and email those logs into your rep, and they can upload them to the WWFF system for you. So yeah, absolutely. Pepe says that he activates summons for fun and not for the points. I want to go back to this comment by Bill. It says, are there points or is it just to do more because it's fun? Really, I mean, you know, the awards and the points are cool and everything, but I think having fun is the whole point of SOTA. I mean, SOTA, getting out, getting on the air, getting active, using your equipment, having fun, that is the absolute absolute point of Parks on the Air. And I think it's really just an incredible way to kind of just get out, have some fun, relax in nature. I love getting out when I can and getting out in the beautiful parks and doing some activations. So what about you, James? Do you do POTA for the awards or for fun?
I just do it for fun. I'm close to the Chattahoochee River National Park. I'm actually like really close to the Chattahoochee, and
nice.
It's just absolutely a beautiful park. It's close, it's close by my house. And so I'm very lucky that I have a POTA so close to my house. I know a lot of people don't. That's why we're thinking about, as we've talked about before, like adding some local parks into the platform. So
yeah,
people have another type of activity to do. But yeah, I just do it just to go there. In fact, when I look at my map in World Radio League and I see how many parks are close to me that I haven't activated, and I just see all the yellow and not a lot of the green, I'm like, I need to venture out more than my just local Chattahoochee park.
Yeah, absolutely. Terry says this is for Catalina. Terry says he does maps on the air. So Terry, we need to get Catalina set up with an HF rig, at least to receive. And you need to start sending her your maps over SSTV. I think Catalina would enjoy receiving some of the map shares over SSTV. So, Catalina, you've heard our description of both programs. What do you think? Does that explain it fairly well? Do you have more questions on that, or what's your takeaways there?
No, I think that I understood the big difference between them.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think that I will start with the SOTA. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I would. In fact, SOTA was here before POTA was. So
and does that mean, since there are so many SOTA sites in Tandil in your city, Catalina, are there a lot of? Is it pretty mountainous? Like you have a lot of mountains, or just
my city is a touristic city because it's surrounded by hills. And we go hiking a lot to the hills. It's like very beautiful and it's prepared. It's not very, very tall at all. You can go for a day and spend the day there, and you have like an awesome and beautiful view from there. So it's very common for us to go and spend the day there.
Yeah, Absolutely.
That's really cool.
Zach also clarified that it's 25. Where was that at? 25 vertical meters from the summit. You have to be within 25 vertical meters of the summit to activate. I saw he also said that him and Maggie made 13 contacts on 2 meters calling frequency on the HTs from Mount Mitchell. And that's something else to note. You can literally just get up on a mountaintop if you're like fairly close to a populated area. It's so much easier to use VHF and UHF frequencies to do SOTA activations than it is POTA activations, because you're on top of a mountain. You've literally got line of sight to all over the place. So you can even just take a little handheld radio and go up and make some contacts. If you're on top of a mountain close to a populated area, which that would be really cool. That would be a lot of fun. So yeah, Zach. What else do we have here? We've got plenty more to talk about. I think we've beat the SOTA POTA horse to death today. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to our next feature. And James, I'm gonna let you talk about this one. We've made some enhancements and adjustments to their park entry, and this is something I've wanted for so long. And we find it's so small, but I wanted it for so long, and we finally pulled it off. So James, talk us through what's going on here.
All right. Well, and first of all, I would just want to call out, if you're not using World Radio League cat control while you are POTA hunting, definitely do that. This makes it super easy. We've got the cat control, so download that. But what we recently did was we made some just user experience improvements to the Their Park. This just launched last Thursday, so I'll walk you guys through it. No major changes, but it does clear up a little bit of confusion, and it makes the Their Park easier to use on the web and the mobile. So first of all, let's say that you're logging somebody who has been spotted on POTA. I just want to call out, it will actually automatically add their park. So you don't even have to add it manually. This was a cool kind of innovation we came up that just makes logging easier. So let's say I put in K1PCN into the logger. It's going to get that call sign match. And what you'll notice is, boom, US 1707 just auto-populated as the park. So when you're out POTA hunting with World Radio League and you're in
that is so awesome.
It's automatically putting those in there for you. And then, of course, you can double click your spots and it'll add the park, it'll add the call sign, it'll even, if you're using cat control, it'll even tune your frequency. Now, here's a couple little experience improvements we made here. There's a new X button. So if you want to clear out the park, that was kind of a pain to do. You had to clear everything out. We added that. The other thing is, some people want to just purely log with their keyboard and not have to click the button. So we added support for comma separated logging. So if I do 4, 6,
I didn't know that landed in this one. Oh man, that's great.
And as soon as I click that comma,
oh, that's incredible.
So it doesn't actually display here with the comma, but when I click the comma, it adds it, right? And some users were getting, because the way that it works in World Radio League is you select the parks from the list rather than just entering them, because that validates. You can see, you can actually get suggestions and make sure you're hearing the person correctly. You can start entering a partial, for instance, and it'll pull it up for you. So we just made it easier for that. And then also, if you're entering a park number, and let's see, I do US-2323s. If I forget to select it, but I click the blue button, it will add it.
That's incredible.
So that just some really nice cleanup just to make sure you get the correct.
Oh yeah, that is so awesome. And this is added to the mobile app as well, or just the web app?
Yep, web app and the mobile app. So
incredible.
It is live.
I am so excited about the comma separated feature. I knew that one was coming. I did not realize that was in this update. So I am over the moon excited about this. So.
And while we're talking about updates, I am just going to keep rolling right on. So
go for it.
For those of you guys who are on the weekly email, you've got this note. So we had a new mobile app release go out on Thursday, but there was a little bit of a bug where you get stuck in a loop. This has been fixed. So what would happen is you would download the app. Anybody who was using the app on Thursday, you might have noticed it. it would say, hey, there's a new update available that would force you to go. You
Yeah.
go to the App Store, you
So-
download it, and you would get
Yeah.
stuck in this loop. Yeah, go ahead,
so
Andy.
let me explain what happened here. There's this really weird issue where when we released the mobile app, the version number was not incremented. So it was still saying the old version number and flagging that it thought there was a new version available. So every time you tried to update the app, it was still the same version number and still the same one on the App Store. And so, yeah, there was an endless loop. It was very annoying. But yeah, we pushed an update very quickly once we realized what happened. And we just put a little flag in the email for those of you who were facing this issue and were wondering what was going on.
But it is all fixed. And we got the fix out in less than 24 hours. So
yeah. And the other issue with that update was the fact that it was just a front end issue. It looked like it was a data issue, but it wasn't. It was just a front end issue where your last 10, 15 logbooks would load on your mobile app and nothing older than that. And that was a bug that popped up in that search, sort, and filter feature, and that one was fixed with the same release. So very quick fixes there, but we wanted y'all to be aware. We got a few reports and we wanted y'all to be aware of what was going on, and that it is no more. We fixed that. So yeah. So James, we also have some other stuff going on with contest. We for the first time we started kind of really leaning into working on these state parks on the air events that happen every year. I think there's a Texas State Parks on the Air, I think there's a Georgia State Parks on the Air, maybe a Florida. And we've been leaning into that a little harder, but it presents some issues because a lot of people will do, like, say, they'll do a POTA Rove. And so typically what you would do with a POTA Rove in World Radio League is you would create a new logbook for every park on your POTA Rove. Well, on these State Parks on the Air events, you want to be on the leaderboard. So whenever you're going on a Rove, and you want to be on the leaderboard, you've got to keep everything in the same logbook. So you want to kind of walk us through our thought process there and what we have done to resolve that.
Absolutely, I will. I want to add one more thing on the mobile apps too. If you guys would, for those of you guys who watch the show, help us out. Leave us a 5-star review on the World Radio League app. We have gotten hit with a couple like spammers of people that are not even using the app that have given us some bad reviews. And so we need some real users to
keyboard warriors.
Yeah, I don't know where it came from. We've got a couple spam from people that aren't real users. So please, if you're using the app, give us a 5-star. If you're not using the app, even if you don't want to use it for log, it is a great app to have because it'll show you your band conditions on the go. You've got call sign lookup. You can look up people's call sign on the go. It's got a little widget where you can show your band conditions on your homepage. So go download the World Radio League app. Just search World Radio League on the iOS or Android. But getting back to the contest, right now, Florida State Parks on the Air is live. You've got a bunch of great upcoming contests. You've got QSO parties. You've got some other contests coming up. But what Andy was just mentioning was these state parks on the air. What's interesting about the state parks on the air, shout out to some of the folks who were using World Radio League.
Ron, Jesse, and all on the leaderboard. That's awesome.
Yeah, there you go.
Awesome.
So what we did was we fixed the duplicate issue because usually for a contest you can only work the call sign once per contest per band in mode, right? But for a state parks on the air contest, we fixed the duplicate logic so it just uses regular POTA rules, which is what you want. But you may still have an issue exporting your logs to POTA because if you're doing a Rove, if you're doing a Rove and you're removing parks and you have a single logbook that has multiple activations. So I wanted to walk you guys through how to export those. It's going to be only for the folks that are doing the state the parks on the air contest.
This is a very, very niche issue, like niche issue. Like we're talking, first of all, you got to get the ham radio operator niche, and then you've got to go down to the niche that is like the middle of the Venn diagram that covers both POTA operators and contesters, and then you've got to go down deeper into the niche of state parks on the air operators. So this is a very small subset of people that face this issue, but they are out there, believe me.
So what you want to export your logs here. So you can see here's one of my POTA logs from the Chattahoochee, which I usually activate. You'll see it when you hover over it, it'll say export US 06628 if that's what you want. But if you were in one of the Parks on the Air contests and you were doing a rove, you need to separate your logbooks into one logbook per each POTA park. So you would just come in, you create a new logbook. You can call it, well, actually, I'll just, I'll put in some park. Say I'm at Twin Lakes. I'll create the logbook. And then you just want to move the contacts for that park into there before you export. The best way to do that is to go to QSO Manager, select those contacts, and then select Move to Logbook, and then just stick them in that logbook that you just created. Okay. But basically, the end result that you want is that each different park or site that you activated has its own logbook, and move them out of that contest so you can export. Yeah. Now, again, guys, if you're just doing regular POTA, you're creating a logbook, ignore everything I just said. The export is going to work perfect for you. This is only for the people that are doing those state
parks on the air events. It's a very, it's kind of a newer thing. And it's kind of cool, but yeah, it comes with its own challenges. I did want to cover this comment. Somebody asked, so with POTA, do you need to be in a contest to do POTA, or can you just do it for fun? Absolutely not. This is a very new thing. It's a fairly new thing. These state parks on the air events. POTA is not necessarily affiliated with that at all. So POTA is just absolutely get out, do it for fun. Doesn't have to be on any particular day, any particular weekend. You just get out and do POTA activations completely for fun. And it's really a great program. So for sure. Great question there. That's a fantastic question. And perfect time to ask it. Rosanna's asking if we can send the mobile update. It is live in all of the on all of the app stores, Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. So you can go update your mobile app there. So what else did we have, James? I think we had one more thing to cover here. Oh yes, I was going to ask. We had a couple of people, one or two people, say that with the latest update, they were having an issue loading the app on their mobile app on their Mac computer. I have not seen this issue, but if you are having this issue, please let me know in the comments section. But yes, so far it's been running fine for me on my M series Mac. So, if you do run into any issues, please let us know. We'd much appreciate that. I want to go back and cover a couple more comments that we got. Bill says, talking about the folders, he's envisioning folder for POTA, folder for contests, and probably others. Yes, as we stated, we that's potentially something we can see in the future. But yeah. Tim says satellite QSO interface with shareable map, like the shareable regular QSO map, but with percentage of satellites, work modes, grids, etc. That's a really cool idea, and I know you're hammering down on the satellite thing. And we've got James. Do we have some of this on the roadmap?
That could just be the coolest, most beautiful dashboard to see all your satellite statistics in one place. And I'm envisioning like a SAT mode on our new operating console that we're about to release. That would be kind of neat. Yeah, or even like an analytics dashboard, its own tab, where you can track all the satellites you've worked.
Well, we have all kinds of analytics dashboards coming up. We could absolutely throw something like this in.
100%. That would be really nice. Cool. That's a nice suggestion.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see here. So there's folks who are suggesting we use tags or categories to break down the different logbooks. Some cool ideas, we'll see what we come up with. We have some cool ideas here. Zach heard me calling out my AI minion for getting the forecast wrong. He says, AI minion, you can just say Brad, man. Yeah, absolutely. It was Brad's fault. No, I'm kidding. It was Brad, had nothing to do with it. Uh,
Poor Brad.
Although, man, with the efficiency that guy has, I'm half scared to ask if he's AI or not. He does. He's one of the most efficient guys I've about ever seen. He cranks through user feedback like crazy. So, we've got I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce your screen name there. I'm sorry. During FT8 Operation WSJTX, my contacts went to N3FJP, but I had to export to get it into WRL. Is there a way to directly import to WRL and to N3FJP? You can turn on the listener on World Radio League, and I have not played with sending them to both N3FJP and WRL at the same time, but I'm assuming if the listener's on both, I'm assuming we'll both pick it up. But I know, using the cat control app and turning on that listener, the UDP port listener for WSJTX, it's really a simple process. We've got video on our YouTube channel that covers that. If you have any questions surrounding that, so feel free to reach out if you have any more questions about that. We'd love to walk you through that. But yeah, it should work. But yeah, I've not played with doing both at the same time myself. So Tom says that he's just getting caught up on the stream, but what about letting us put a single logbook in the quick links buttons at the top of the homepage? There's a cool idea. That's a really cool idea, Tom.
Our homepage is due for a refresh. We've got a couple things we want to do. Like, the leaderboards are going to become a little bit more dynamic, like where you can see not just the top country, but the top 5 and countries, and you can sort it, and the top 5 state provinces, and you can sort it. Like, I would really want to know, like, on a daily basis, like what states are really active, what countries are really active, and things like that. And and then including some dynamic things like what you're talking about, Tom, where it's like giving you some options of things. Your logbook. Here's a competition happening. Maybe we can add some of that onto the homepage too.
Absolutely.
And Tom, looking forward to seeing you at Dayton.
Yeah, Tom. Yeah, absolutely. Tom signed up to be one of our volunteers, didn't he?
Yeah. He's gonna be
very nice. Looking forward to meeting you, Tom.
Thank you, Catalina.
Guys, we are already up against the next break. This is the fastest 2 hours. We call this the fastest 2 hours in ham radio for a reason. We will be right back after the break, and we've got James, Catalina. You both will still be here, correct?
I got to run after this break. So
James
73 guys.
Catalina, you still be here?
I'll see you next week.
Yes, I will.
All right, Catalina still be here. See you, James 73. Thank you so much for stopping by. And Catalina will still be here after the break, guys. We have plenty more to cover, so don't go anywhere. We've got tons of stuff to talk about still. I'm going to give you the more Expo rundown. That was a lot of fun, and we've got some really interesting news and in the ham radio space to talk about. So don't go anywhere. Keep throwing those comments in the comment section so we can get to you after the break. Guys, we'll be right back. Are you ready to ditch that 90s ham radio logging software and upgrade to something from this century? Well, now you can. Welcome to a brand new era of software in ham radio, World Radio League. Whether you're a brand new ham radio operator just getting started or a seasoned veteran looking to upgrade your logging experience, World Radio League is the ham radio tool suite for you. Its sleek, modern design brings ham radio into today's world. No more digging through endless menus to find basic features. It's all right in front of you, ready to go with just a couple clicks. An extremely customizable logging interface is just the beginning. We integrate with 7 spotting networks to make finding your contacts that much easier. Plus, we offer many custom mapping and analytics tools so that you can view your contacts your way. We have all sorts of tools tailored to contesting, POTA, SOTA, WWFF, and other activities as well. And it gets better. With our cloud-based log storage, you can access your logs using our fully featured web interface in tandem with our robust mobile app.
You can log into your account on any device and even log contacts offline, syncing them to your online account later. The best part? Logging with World Radio League is free. Just set up an account and start logging. Want to use advanced features like large log imports and analytics? Upgrade to a premium plan starting at only $3 a month. Join a huge community of ham radio operators at the fastest growing ham radio software platform available by creating your free account at worldradioleague.com today, or search for World Radio League in your favorite app store.
Welcome back, everybody. We are back from break. I am Andy N0APX, your extra host for today. Don't forget that I haven't mentioned this for a while, but for Ham Radio Prep, if you want a discount on any of our advanced operating courses or anything on Ham Radio Prep, I'd use code Andy10 for 10% off over at Ham Radio Prep. Catalina still with us. Hey, Catalina. I saw you smile over there when I shouted extra into my microphone.
Extra. Yeah, I was going to tell you that you didn't mention it before, so it was time.
Absolutely. We've got plenty more to talk about, namely the More Expo and some really cool couple of ham radio brands that were thought to be dead were recently bought out and are going to be revived. Some really cool other stuff we've got to talk about. So first of all, I want to hit the comments section really quickly here. Zach's 1 year WRL birthday coming up. Well, happy birthday to you, Zach. Let me know.
Happy birthday.
Zach, what day is it? What day is it? If it's this week, then I'll go ahead and play the birthday song for you. If it's next week, we'll wait. But let me know what day that is. If you've got it handy. We've also got, what else was it? There we go. Bill says, question, on the web app, if I use search call sign, I was surprised there wasn't a make contact linker button. I had to retype the call sign in the contact form. Maybe there's something wrong. No, that call sign search is just for searching out, operators and their pages and everything. But that is actually a really cool idea. So thank you for calling that out. Would there be a future integration or separate application for WRL cat control on a phone in case you don't want to bring a computer, as some radios have Bluetooth? That's a very cool idea. We don't have anything like that in the works yet, but I can absolutely see something like that in the future. As technology and radio connection technology advances, that's something we could definitely look into doing. Zach asking, did I dream this, or did you talk about a net control feature a few streams back? We have talked about that. That is on our roadmap. And in fact, actually, I'm not sure exactly when that one's coming up. But yes, that one is on the roadmap. So Zach, you did not dream it. It is coming. A save function to save frequency you use the most to make logging faster. That's an interesting concept. I really thought about that before. But cool concept for sure. Colin and VK. Hey, Colin. Can you add more DXCC awards? I'm just over 250 DXCC, but it only has 100 DXCC award max, maybe 150, 200, and 250. We have plenty more awards coming very, very soon. We have some developers that are going to be assigned to just that specifically. So yes, Colin, you will see some stuff like that coming very soon. Great question. Corey, fairly new to WRL app, but POTA on the Go app has an active map showing frequency and mode. Is it possible to integrate something similar here? An active map showing frequency and mode. I'm assuming you mean something like, and I can show you on the web app and I can show you on the mobile app, but I'm assuming you're talking about something like, where's my WRL app? There we go. It's right on my homepage, of course. I'm assuming you're talking about something like we have the map here, and we have the stats page right here as well that shows all those details. I'm trying to get that to focus. There we go. Shows all those details. And if you go to the web app here, let me go ahead and pull it up on the web app, and I'll show you something really cool. If we go into a logbook here, go to a map, I click share map. There you go. Now you've got it all on one page. This is one of Catalina loves looking at this screen right here. This is Catalina's favorite screen by far. So
Exactly. That's beautiful. You can share it in social media.
yeah, absolutely. April's not over yet, so maybe when April's over, I can share it for you.
I know. I'm waiting for that one.
So yeah, absolutely. Great question. Levi says, any special announcements coming from HRP WRL at Hamvention? You never know. You never know what could be in the works. We have a new sticker coming, and a really cool new sticker. So
I think that Levi is gonna volunteer also.
oh, cool, Levi. Looking forward to seeing you there. And yeah. Absolutely. You know, we could have something. We might not have something. You just never know. You'll have to come and find out. So great question. There are comments pouring in like crazy. I'm trying to keep up here.
He was Levi, the one that is going to volunteer.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure. Sean says, thanks to Ham Radio Prep, he just got his tech in the past week. Congratulations. Sean. That is awesome. Another round. If this thing will fire them properly, I'm going to give you another round of fireworks. I'm going to have to do it manually. It's supposed to give me reactions by giving a double thumbs up, but I'm going to fire it manually for you. There's your fireworks. Congratulations on getting your tech. Looking forward to hearing that you got your extra here very soon. Well, you'll have to take the general step between there, but yeah, absolutely. We're looking forward to hearing more from you, Sean, and hearing your progress there. So that's awesome, Sean. It's fantastic. Have fun, man. Have fun. We definitely have some other stuff to cover. So I'm gonna take a few minutes here and just talk about the More Expo. So More Expo is held in Springfield, Missouri every year. Has been up to this point, and they've got it's an overlanding and outdoor camping, that type of event. Huge, people from all over the nation show up. It is an awesome event, and so I was out walking the floor on Friday afternoon. It's a Friday and Saturday event. I was walking the floor Friday afternoon, and on Saturday afternoon I set up a table at the Nixa Amateur Radio Club trailer. So I got a few clips. I'm going to share a couple of those clips with you. And here's me actually at the trailer. Let me go ahead and play this clip. Hey guys, Andy here, N0APX. It's day 2 of the More Expo in Springfield, Missouri. I am in front of the Nixa Amateur Radio Club trailer. We have a little table set up right over. Come check us out. Missouri 2026. There we go. So it was really cool. We had a table set up right outside their trailer. You can't see the trailer too good in that video. It's an awesome trailer. We're gonna have a video come out on either the World Radio League or Ham Radio Prep channels very soon, showing off that trailer. They gave us a walkthrough of it. It's a beautiful trailer. Really great setup they have there, and really a lot of fun. Thank you to Dave KE6JE for helping me out with that. That was Hillbilly Ham. That was a great thing. There's also this really cool thing they have. Of course, everybody there is giving out stickers or patches or something. So, a whole lot of people there are. So I picked up a bunch of stickers here from some of the vendors and what have you. Sniper Blade Works sticker, Mamu's Camp Kitchen. That one was really cool because they had some like freeze dried meals. That was really, really neat. Dakota Adventures, grabbed one of their stickers. You can see that. That one's not wanting to focus for me. But anyway, that one was really cool. I gave out a bunch of the 73 sticker, of course. So handed out a bunch of those. And I picked up the Off-Grid Trailers patch. And some of y'all may be familiar with some of these brands, and a lot of you might not be. But and then they had this really cool thing called the take a patch, leave a patch wall. So it's basically, these patches are like Velcro, sticky back, whatever they are. There's different types of patches. And so they had this wall where you could walk up, you could leave your patch, and you could take somebody else's patch that they had left it there, just like basically a trading post for patches. You could just walk up there, leave one, grab one that you liked, leave one of your own, and move on. It was really, really cool. So this is me at the take a patch, leave a patch. I'm here at the Expo, and they've got the take a patch, leave a patch wall. So I got me a Bluebird Overland patch here, and I left 73 sticker. Come check us out at more Expo, Springfield, Missouri. See you there. So I think they reuse that sign every year. I might be wrong. I think they reuse that sign every year. If they do, there's a permanent World Radio League Ham Radio Prep presence there. At least I hope they leave it on. So I thought that was really fun. And so, yeah, I got my Bluebird Overland patch right here with me. So, but yeah, it was an extremely fun event. I mean, it was huge, humongous, tons and tons of people. And it was just a really, really awesome event. So great to see a lot of people there. There was a lot of ham radio YouTubers there. A lot of probably people that you all would be familiar with were there. There was Prep Ham Paul stopped by, wanted to get a picture with us. So we got a picture with me and Prep Ham Paul and Hillbilly Ham, all standing out there in front of the Next to Ham's trailer. So there was, what's that?
Cool picture. Yeah,
absolutely. There was a lot of YouTubers there, ham radio YouTubers there. Yeah. It was great to see some of them again, catch back up with them. Like there was Bill, Ham Radio Tectonics, Jason, Ham Radio 2.0, Kyle A0Z was there. Trying to remember all the ones that were there. Tank Radio was there last year. He wasn't there this year, but yeah, there's a lot of people that you'd probably know that were there. That it's glad to see them again. So it was super fun. Gave away tons of material. If you see us at one of these events, we give away stuff like crazy. I mean, we give out tons of books and stickers and what have you, and in some cases even discount coupons and stuff. But yeah, it was an awesome event and really great to set up by the trailer with some friends of World Radio League. Dave KE68, the Hillbilly Ham, has been a World Radio League user for 1 year now because he started using World Radio League last More Expo. So
ooh, nice.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually, in fact, I caught Dave in a candid moment here. So let me go ahead and play this clip. This one was fun. I'm here at the. I did not tell him what I was doing. I literally turned the camera on and did this. He had no idea what was coming. I'm here at the Nixa Ham Amateur Radio Club trailer with Dave K68. Dave, could you tell us what app you're using to find these POTA spots?
I am actually using World Radio League on my phone.
World Radio League, that is incredible. You finding anything?
Yeah, actually, I've got Kilo Echo 8, Papa Zulu November on the spots right now, and I'm trying to get him in a park.
That's awesome. You told me a few minutes ago you worked a really cool station, DX station.
Yeah, I got my first park in Mexico this morning. We actually got 2 different operators down in Mexico on the Alpha antenna, Hextana Delta Loop.
That's awesome. Well, hope you get the contact in your lock. Thanks, Dave.
Hey, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah. It was really cool to see Dave, and I didn't even look at his phone. I just knew he was using the World Radio League mobile app. So I didn't look at his phone. He had it out. I knew what he was doing, so I just turned on the camera and pointed it at him. So it was really fun. It was a lot of fun. Great event, and really, 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 really awesome. So, Catalina, do you have any of these type events in your area? Do they do anything like that in Argentina ever?
I think that there are some events, but not in my city. Like they are doing some events on different cities that are bigger than mine.
Yeah.
But maybe I can check if I can go to some. I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
I was thinking the
Absolutely.
same when we were watching like the videos from your
Yeah.
experience. Like I would love to go to one of those events and see
Oh,
what's
yeah.
going on here in Argentina, if they are similar from what I can see from yours. So it can
Oh,
be
yeah.
very cool.
Absolutely. It was a massive, massive event, and tons of people there, and a ton of fun to see all of them interact with a bunch of people. And really, this kind of segues into something else I wanted to talk about. And the outdoor overlanding community is a huge potential for ham radio. And I say that because there are so many of them that are using GMRS. So many of them stopped by and were like, "Oh, ham radio, I've heard of that and I don't know where to start," or, "Oh, I've been wanting to get into this," or there's so many. It's a grow. I really think it's a growing interest in ham radio in the overlanding community, because they'll be off road, back in the boonies, away from any cell tower or cell service, and they'll want to communicate with each other. And they use GMRS, but that only goes so far. And I really think ham radio has a huge potential to really, really benefit these folks in a lot of ways. And so, one of the things that I've recognized over the past several months and years is that ham radio is huge. Ham radio is massive. You get into ham radio, and Catalina, you weren't anywhere near the ham radio hobby before you met James, I'm sure. And so I think you would probably understand this as much as anyone. Ham radio is massive, but you don't hear a word about it until you express interest in it and your algorithms picks that up. I mean, really, you don't hear a word about it. As soon as you express interest in ham radio, it's like the world opens up and there's like this massive influx of all kinds of content and all kinds of community, and everybody wants to help you, but you never see that unless you first express your own interest in it. And I really think there ought to be a pivot on this point. I really think there ought to be more aggressive marketing from the ham radio community to communities like these overlanders and a lot of these folks who would benefit greatly from ham radio, and but just don't know that it exists, or don't have enough of a comprehension of it to express enough interest to really find out what it can do for them. And I think this is true of a lot of different hobbies in a lot of different areas. But ham radio has such a great potential for good and for helping people, that I think it's more so in that way that it should be marketed more. And yeah, what do you think, Catalina?
Yes, I totally agree. I had a great anecdote because it
Yeah,
happened the same that you are explaining. Like I didn't know anything about ham radio. I just saw the job post, and I decided to apply. And then I have to investigate about what was going on in the company. And I was, oh my God, this is a word that I don't know. So
yeah,
I started working here, and of course, I started learning about this. And after some month working here, I was speaking with one of my best friends. I have a big group of friends, and we talk about everything. And we know each other for a long, long time. And he told me, but I have my license. And I was, what? I didn't know about that. And he told me, yes, he did. He is a technician license since he's a little kid, because his father had like the hobby in the paint. So he was like, I talked about this a lot of times. He told me whenever we were like in some reunions, but I didn't know that what he was talking about. And now
yeah,
we share a lot of information about this, but I didn't know what was ham radio before entering this. And now I have met a lot of people. Like and I am meeting a lot of people with World Radio League. Like I think that it's I am like understanding that this is worldwide, and I love that. Like you can
yeah,
connect with people from every country, different countries. So it's kind of cool. It's not just a hobby. It's some like I don't know, social communication and interaction. I love that part
yeah.
of radio.
Absolutely, that is exactly right. I think you nailed it, Catalina. It's not. There are so many hobbies that are just hobbies, and they're just money pits. And don't get me wrong, amateur radio is a money pit. Very much, you can sink a lot of dollars really fast in amateur radio, but there are real rewards in ham radio, I think, and even one of the news stories we were going to talk about later, with the MCOM folks, the emergency communications folks, deploying in I believe it's in Hawaii. That is, that's just one of the benefits of amateur radio and getting into the hobby is, you have the opportunities to help with things like this, or reap the benefits of other people who are helping with situations like this through amateur radio. And I think it is an undersold hobby. I think it's almost like you get into it and there's a huge barrage of information. It's almost hard to catch up. It takes a little bit to catch up with it all, but you don't get any of it if you don't first take the first step on your own. And so I honestly think pushing some simple, easy to understand, easy to become familiar with, easy to, I don't even know what words to use, but some marketing that's easy to understand, that's simple terms that are a gateway into amateur radio. I think some marketing in that regard would be beneficial to the hobby in a lot of ways. So, just my thoughts on amateur radio and the overlanding community, and really any community. I mean, there's a lot of communities that could benefit from amateur radio, and I think it's undersold. But at the same time, I also have a feeling that it is potentially going to be growing and expanding as we go. So it's just like about anything. I mean, things go in cycles. Amateur radio was on the downtick for a while. I would not be one that's surprised if it starts back on the uptick again. There's just humanity has a cyclical nature. There things come and they go and they come back again. So it's just the way us humans are. So I just saw Dave Hillbilly Ham pop in the chat. Hey Dave, good to see you. Hope you're doing great. And I played the clip just a couple minutes ago of you making the contact. I'll play it again for you since you're here. Or of you telling us right before you made the contact what logger you were using at More Expo. So let's go ahead and watch that one more time since Dave's here again. I'm here at the Nick's Ham Amateur Radio Club trailer with Dave, K6JE. Dave, could you tell us what app you're using to find these POTA spots?
I am actually using World Radio League on my phone.
World Radio League, that is incredible. You finding anything?
Yeah, actually I've got Kilo Echo 8, Papa Zulu November on the spots right now, and I'm trying to get him in a park.
That's awesome. You told me a few minutes ago you worked a really cool station, DX station.
Yeah, I got my first park in Mexico this morning. We actually got two different operators down in Mexico on the Alpha antenna, Hex antenna, Delta Loop.
That's awesome. Well, hope you get the contact in your log. Thanks, Dave.
Hey, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah. Thank you, Dave, for giving me your time there. That was really fun. And great to see you and the guys from the Nexa Club. Really, really fun. So really, really appreciate it. I just wanted to shout out, we have the Dominican Republic in the chat. Welcome. Great to see you. Rajesh, he says, I love World Radio League. That is great to hear, Rajesh. That's just awesome. We love hearing about people who love World Radio League. He's from Nepal. Well, welcome from Nepal, Rajesh. Great to see you. We are very international today. Braden Saxon says he started an amateur radio club at his school. That is really incredible. There's a school fairly close to me in Joplin that has an active amateur radio club, and I was able to gift them some ham radio prep material, and their club it's really cool. They have a student net. Or at least they used to. I'm assuming they still do. I haven't checked into it for a while, but they had a net where the students would actually get on and take check-ins to their net every week. So, school clubs are an awesome way to grow the hobby, and I really think it's a great idea. So, We're just a tad bit early for a break, but I'm going to go ahead and take a break so we can get back and start talking some news stories. Catalina, please tell me you're going to be around after the break.
I'm sorry, Andy.
Ah.
I'm gonna have to go.
Of course you have to go. No, I'm kidding. Thank you, Catalina, so much for sticking with us this long, and we really appreciate you being here. Look forward to seeing you back again next
Thank
week.
you.
Yeah,
Thank you for
absolutely.
inviting me, Andy. I really enjoy being here. So thank
For
you
sure.
so much.
Before you go, tell the people what. Just tell the people really quickly what we haven't talked about it today, so now is as good a time as any. Mugs for Map Shares. What is it, and how do you get it? How do we get involved?
Okay, so we are on April 20th, so you have time to participate for Max for MapShare project that we are having ongoing every month. We are giving 5 free mags for people who is just sharing your World Radio League maps on social media. You just need to tag World Radio League and you are participating for these free mags. We have 5 winners per month. And if you share a map, it equals to 1 point. So as many maps you share, as many possibilities you have to win this mag. So it's very easy. You have to share your World Radio League map on social media platforms and tag World Radio League account, and you are just participating for these mags.
Absolutely. 5 winners every month. And
Exactly.
yeah, absolutely. And it's a lot of fun. And we've got a couple of mugs now. We've got the World Radio League Morse code mug and the Q codes mug that is going to be dropping very soon. So
Yes.
yeah, you got a couple of them to compete for. Catalina, once again, thank you, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you so much,
guys. Yep, don't go anywhere. We will be right back after the break. We've got more to cover, so stick around. We'll be right back with the fastest 2 hours in ham radio. We thank you all for sticking with us, and we love to see you here.
With your ham radio license, you can communicate with dozens of satellites in space and even talk with astronauts on the International Space Station who are licensed ham radio operators. In fact, amateur radio is an official backup communication on the ISS, and ham radio is even used in SpaceX missions such as Fram-2, where SSTV images were transmitted from the SpaceX Dragon spacecraft. You can use ham radio to communicate with satellites and spacecraft too. All you need is a little knowledge. Join Jim, N4BFR, the lead instructor at Ham Radio Prep, in our new Satellite and Space Operations course. In this course, we'll guide you step by step through everything you need to know to take your ham radio operations from beyond the Earth into the satellites and space above us. And guess what? You don't need thousands of dollars in equipment to get started. All you need is at least a technician ham radio license and a basic handheld. We'll show you how to make your first satellite contacts by building your own antenna for less than $50 and build from there. You'll learn how to make contacts thousands of miles away using a satellite as a repeater. You'll learn how to track satellites moving at over 17,500 miles per hour overhead in real time and communicate via voice, SSTV images, APRS, or even bounce your signal off the moon. You'll hear from leading experts in amateur radio space communications directly about cutting-edge projects and initiatives. This course is your gateway into the world of space exploration and communications, where you'll both sharpen your practical operating skills while also learning about the underlying theory and concepts that drive space communications. Seize the opportunity to take your ham radio operations to space and beyond. Sign up today at hamradioprep.com.
Hey, it's Jim, N4BFR, lead instructor here at Ham Radio Prep with an important message. If you've been following us for a while, you know how we've helped tens of thousands of people get their ham radio license with our program. But there's so much more to ham radio than just getting your license. You need to get active and start operating. That's why I'm excited to tell you about our brand new Emergency Communications 101 course. We designed this course specifically to teach you how to get on the air and learn the fundamentals of emergency communications. We break it all down in easy to understand lessons and guides with real operating examples and activities, and we talk to experts in their field. By the end of this course, you'll be able to effectively communicate during public service events and emergencies, ensuring the safety of yourself, your family, and your community. So, if your focus is emergency communications, sign up today and take your ham radio skills to the next level. I'll see you in class 73. Imagine setting up your ham radio in a state or national park like this one, surrounded by nature.
And making contacts with people all over the world.
That's what Parks on the Air is all about. It's one of the most fun and rewarding ways to participate in ham radio.
POTA is for everyone.
Activators head out to parks to experience nature, while hunters try and contact them from home. With over 500,000 participants worldwide, there's an activation happening every day. And in fact, there's probably an activation going on in a park like this right now.
But if you're new, getting started can be overwhelming. From picking the right gear and antennas to setting up in the field, logging contacts, and following the rules.
That's why we created the Ham Radio Prep POTA course, your guide to getting started with Parks on the Air. We'll walk you through everything step by step, from choosing equipment to setting up, on-air operation, and logging.
This course will get you on the air fast and help you to avoid common beginner mistakes.
And even if you already have POTA experience, you'll find plenty of pro tips to optimize your station setup and operations.
We recommend having at least a general license for this course, but even if you're still a technician, this course will help you prepare for the next level and get ready to join in the fun.
POTA is an amazing way to build your skills, get in the outdoors, and connect with other hams around the world. So are you ready to start your next adventure?
Sign up for the POTA course today at hamradioprep.com.
We are back with the World Radio League Show, episode 45, having more fun than any human being should be allowed to have. I'm Andy, M0APX, your extra ham radio operator. Today, thank you for bearing with us for the extra long ad break while I was fighting with my equipment. But yeah, we're back and having tons and tons of fun. We got a few news stories to talk about right here before we hit the end of the show. It's last 2 hours in ham radio, coming to you every Monday at 2 p.m. Central Time from the almost illustrious Blue Barn Studios in southwestern Missouri. Glad to see everyone here, and yeah, we've got stuff to talk about. We have we have World Amateur Radio Day, which just happened. What did you do for World Amateur Radio Day? Did you get out and talk to your friends about amateur radio? That's what I did. I went to the More Expo, as previously stated, in Springfield, Missouri, and I talked ham radio to a lot of people. So that was a lot of fun. What throw in the comments if you did anything for World Amateur Radio Day. Really love to hear anything you have. Listen to Dan here throw or hit the like button right there. He wants a World Radio League mug. Keep sharing those maps. Absolutely. We got Ernest from Montana in the chat. Good to see you, Ernest. So, absolutely. We've got Alan saying we need to offer WRL water bottles or insulated water bottles as an alternative to coffee mugs. That's a cool idea. It's a really cool idea. So, High Gain and Cushcraft, MFJ Enterprises companies. High Gain and Cushcraft. As you all most likely know, MFJ went out of business last year, and they're kind of off the radar. All of a sudden, High Gain and Cushcraft were bought by the ITU Corporation in this month, actually. As far as I know, I'm sure they were working on the deal before this month, but they announced it earlier this month. And all the brand names, the designs, the equipment and tooling, marketing rights, all that stuff purchased by ITU Corporation in Indiana. The whole business is being transferred from MFJ to near Linton area in Indiana. They're going into I'm hearing that they're going into like a former armory, which is really cool. And absolutely, it's gonna be really awesome to see what they start cranking out, what new models we could potentially see. Potentially see some new stuff coming out there. And this is not like a ham radio giant company, buying out these antennas. This is just a new manufacturer, a manufacturing company. It's not necessarily a new manufacturing company. I don't know a ton about the company, but they're a manufacturing company that is new to the ham radio space. So that's really, really cool. So we'll look forward to see what's going on over there with Cushcraft and with High Gain, and see what they happen to do. I'm not gonna pronounce this properly because I don't speak Hawaiian, but a Kona Low storm system in Hawaii triggered an activation of local operators tied to Aries and the Aries and Races networks. A Kona Low is it's not typical trade winds. It's actually a little bit. It's the opposite of that. It brings some heavy rain, flooding, and of course puts a lot of strain on the infrastructure they have down there. But many times it's fairly localized, but it can be really extraordinarily intense. So they staffed some EOCs, ran some VHF UHF nets, and ran some HF inter-island backup comms, passing weather reports, road closure reports, resource requests, all that kind of stuff. So really, it's just a great example of what hams can do in emergency situations. So go look into that and see how you can become more involved in your local MCOM organizations. We have some MCOM organizations close to here, but not very active ones. So it would be great to see some more MCOM organizations become more active as we go. So I want to hit some more stuff in the chat here. We have go throw more comments in the chat, guys. We got a little bit of time here. We got a few more minutes we can talk about stuff. So throw some comments in the chat if you have anything you want to discuss. And Josh said he got second in the rookie roundup. That is awesome, Josh. That's incredible. Great to hear it. Zach said this weekend was also Support Your Parks Weekend. Support Your Parks Weekend is really an awesome thing in ham radio. Support Your Parks Weekend is where you can get out and do POTA and get some special awards for doing POTA. You can get out and hunt POTA, get some special awards for hunting POTA. And Support Your Parks Weekend is just really an awesome event. And I'm not always able to be involved, but I like to when I can. Support Your Parks Weekend is really cool. Not necessarily a contest, but just a weekend. I think they have 4 of them a year, 4 weekends a year, where it's really encouraged for more people to get out and do POTA activations and hunt POTA stations and just have fun with Parks on the Air. So Right. M7AMC, newly licensed operator. Well, welcome. I think I missed the last part of Zach's comment here. He said he got a group of 8 other newish to POTA hams together at the local park from his club and educated. That's incredible, Zach. Great way to spread the hobby there. He said, I may have also repped WRL and got a few to use it. Had a blast. Well, Zach, that's really awesome to hear, my friend. I'm glad to hear you are out there pushing World Radio League. So, all right, what else do we have? Zach also said he also got a new to me IC705 and played around with that. Absolutely loving this radio. Zach, be sure and put a couple of World Radio League stickers on that 705. It'll gain you at least 3 or 4 S units. Be sure and slap some stickers on that thing. All right, we have who else do we have? Larry is on a golf course in the Dominican Republic. Welcome, Larry. Hope you're having fun down there. Chaz, I am looking at the Ham Radio Prep and World Radio League and YouTube channels, Facebook pages, all that good stuff. So, I'm not sure exactly what you're referencing, but yeah. Anyway, Zach says hopefully the stickers will negate the band issues by buying a new radio will cause. Yeah, absolutely. You know, I always heard that the way to be absolutely sure it rains is to wash your car and leave the windows down. But I never heard, what they never told me was that when you buy a new radio, the bands crash. So that is something you learn once you get in the hobby. So Zach, I hope you have fun with your new radio and you get it out there and get it on the air. Guys, we are about 15 minutes early. But we covered pretty much everything. We usually would have still had the propagation forecast to cover, but as previously stated, we're not going to do the propagation forecast today until I get the kinks worked out of my AI minion and all of its work. So and all of its issues. So yeah, absolutely. Terry, what's going on, my friend, with the comment section? I'm hearing that some of the comments that I'm reading are not showing up on your end. So are you having an issue over there with the comment section on the World Radio YouTube channel? Josh says his neighbor let him borrow some acres so he's able to put up a 160 meter antenna. That's been a lot of fun. That's great, Josh. Really incredible to hear you already got your 160 antenna up. I don't have a 160 antenna up. That's really cool. So guys, we're going to go ahead and I think we're going to go ahead and wrap the show. It's been an incredibly fun show, but we are pretty much at we're 15 minutes ahead of time, like I said, but we've covered basically everything. We'll have a jam-packed show for you next week, and we're gonna have a lot of fun, a lot of stuff to talk about next week. So don't be sure and don't miss next week's show. We will be back in full force. Looking forward to talking to y'all. 7-3, everybody, from November 0 Alpha Papa X-Ray. I'm clear and did it.